this over here. That'll have to work. Hey, what's going on? Yeah, we got some stuff to talk about tonight, but the next couple of days, maybe few days, we're talking potential real severe weather, not this summertime stuff. Getting into fall severe season, so we need to talk about it. New developments out in the tropics as well that we need to talk about here too. I've been saying it. Late September, early October, I expect the tropics to come alive, and that's going to happen. It is going to happen. A jet stream's going to pull to the north. We're going to have some opportunities in here. This southwesterly shear is going to move out of the Gulf, Florida, Western Atlantic. We're going to see some things popping off there, potentially close to home. But the next couple of days, expect an enhanced out here tomorrow. I'm not going to guarantee you there's going to be enhanced, but I think there's a good chance we're going to get an enhanced out here tomorrow. Potentially for Omaha and potentially up here. Right in here. I think we could go enhanced in both of these sections. 3 out of 5. Which we haven't seen in... Does anyone know how long it's been? Yeah, I was thinking about that. I know we got people in Omaha. I know we got people in Oklahoma. I know we got some people in Kansas. And then it moves over to Arkansas, Missouri, northeastern Texas. Yeah, we're going to have a lot of mods in there. What's up, Purple? I was like thinking I was going to get back on, then I wasn't going to get back on. I don't know if you guys saw what I just posted online. Well, in the Discord and stuff. I was just looking at these numbers going, dang, when did this severe threat get so wild tomorrow? We can review it. It's a good learning opportunity anyways. I should have had my freaking... Maybe I'll do... You know what? I'll do my video on well, I already have one recorded. I got to do my one on severe parameter stuff. Let me show this so you guys can see what I'm looking at. Here we go. Let's go over some of the numbers for tomorrow. What should we look at? Our Rufus? Go into severe. We'll go to our low-level helicity. Look at this helicity. All right. Some violent rotation possible here and up there near Omaha. You know, it gets pretty high, the helicity up here near, but it's much smaller. So we could still get a strong tornado up there near Omaha. You see a much broader sector of it down here. Going into our K index, you really don't want to see anything 30 or over. That's when you can get some bad storms. We're easily clearing that here. You can see we're up to potentially 50 on the K index. So strong chance of isolated, scattered, strong thunderstorms. Up there we get 40 plus, 44 plus, maybe 45 plus up here in Omaha. Another sign of some pretty bad weather tomorrow, some pretty severe weather tomorrow. You can see our SIGTOR params, we're getting up there near to 3 plus near Omaha tomorrow. And then down here, portions of the northern panhandle of Texas, western Oklahoma, western Kansas. Let me turn this music down a little bit. It's blasting out. All right. Then as we get out towards western Kansas, western Oklahoma, panhandle of Texas, and then up there, yeah. SIGTOR parameters looking pretty spicy as well tomorrow. We're talking about potentially 8 plus through here. Supercell composites, just as impressive. We're seeing 13 plus supercell composites. That's no joke up there. Eastern Nebraska, western Iowa, does include the Omaha area. We're seeing that as well down here. We're seeing 15 plus supercell composites. Surface cape wise, the timing of this low level jet is going to be pretty important. Yeah, Omaha tomorrow. This looks to be an evening event for most. Okay, so morning, afternoon, most of us are going to be okay. We're talking for most of us mid to late evening, and we could have a nocturnal tornado threat for portions of Kansas and Oklahoma. This is the most significant, at least, outlook we've had, or forecast, severe weather forecast we've had in 2 or 3 months, maybe 3 months. I think we're gonna have a double enhanced tomorrow for Omaha region. So eastern, central, really just let's call it eastern Nebraska and southwestern Iowa. We need to watch out there, in west central Iowa. Cape values are perfectly fine. That's going to support, that's a lot of instability. It's going to support this stuff. You can see here, helicity wise, updraft helicity, 240 plus. So very large hail, strong tornadoes, damaging wind, 80 plus mile per hour, all possible. Maybe even, yeah, I'm not going to say a derecho, but you had some models earlier looking like a derecho through Omaha. I don't think we're going to get a derecho through Omaha. Not impossible with this setup, but I don't think so. It's possible. K and B, I appreciate you guys. Minnesota, is Minnesota fine tonight? Yeah, Minnesota's all right. I know we got some severe storms up there. They're going to be winding down a little bit. We do have 2-inch observed hail moving through Bloomington, out down to the southeast toward Eagan right now. Did they just downgrade this? Let's see. Okay, they downgraded it to an inch and a quarter hail, 50 mile per hour winds. Not too bad, but we're looking okay. Just to the northeast of Sioux City, we have Tor possible, almost 2-inch radar indicated hail and 60 plus mile per hour wind gusts. This is moving down to the southeast past Lamar towards Remsen and Kingsley. Is there a Tor in here? Doesn't look like it right now based on what I'm seeing on the map. So not too concerned with that this moment, but I'd still be weather aware if you're out there. That could change quickly. This is our threat for tomorrow. This is the remaining threat for tonight. But I'm kind of focusing on what could potentially happen tomorrow. Sorry, I was not in weather-wise. Here you go. Here's our severe weather going on right now. This has been downgraded, not too bad, but strong storms moving into Bloomington, Eagan, out towards Cottage Grove and Hastings, Minnesota. And then this is just out to the east. This is going through Lamar's, Remsen, Iowa, just out to the northeast of Sioux City. Tor possible. It's not looking... Let's take the composite off. I'm not seeing any sort of decent rotation in here, though. I think they're going to drop the Tor possible, so I think we're okay there. And again, this is what's left with our severe threat today. Tomorrow, double slight. If I had to guess, we could get an enhanced, small enhanced through here. And we could get a small enhanced through here and then an enhanced through here. Kind of the northwestern edge of this slight up here. Down here, I don't think we're going to go enhanced. But regardless, even if we don't go enhanced, I don't know. It's a pretty interesting setup. We do have a marginal out here. Could we get a slight through here? Potentially. I'm not sure we're going to, though. We're really watching this area out here in the plains. Day 3, this is going to be an enhanced potential out down here as well. Do they have us for day 4 right now? Probabilistic? No. Okay. Again, we got a lot of tropical activity pointing towards us. This is exactly what we expected. Like I talked about, late September, early October, our subtropical jet is likely to lift. We have top 5 warmest waters in record history here, here, and here. And if we do take a quick look, and I was talking about this earlier, guys, and I'll get to questions in a second. It's a lot suddenly going on. The NHC has been popping off today. Tropical activity has been popping off. Severe weather setup for the next 2 days just started to pop off. So I did want to talk about this as well. This is important. Why is it important? Well, with our shear potentially lifting out of this region, there's not a lot of dry air here. Dry air is what's helpful to weaken systems, okay? So that's this is going to potentially lead to some enhanced tropical activity. Taking a look at our deep layer, this is our wind shear that could affect our systems. There's Florida. You have a little area here with some strong shear, but for the most part, this entire area, you got a little shear through here. This entire area is pretty clean. Without dry air, not a ton of shear. This subtropical jet is expected to be moving out, and it will continue to move out as we get into October with those waters in the equatorial Pacific, El Nino 3.4 region cooling. I'd expect all this red out here to calm down and allow for some tropical activity up through here. That's why we're continuing to watch end of September, early October. So a lot of stuff happening currently. And again, if you missed it and we just got in here, helicity tomorrow. This tells us, okay, we know there's going to be vorticity, which is rotation. How violent is that rotation? The helicity is the violence of the rotation. This is down near the surface. Pretty violent. K-index, if you get K-index over 30, you can have pretty strong thunderstorms. We're talking potentially 50 plus out here and up here. Significant tornado parameters. Anything 1.0 and above, you can get a tornado. We have potentially 3 to 4 above here, and then down here we get up there. We get our SIGTOR parameters potentially 8 plus, so very, very high SIGTOR parameters. Supercell Composites, of course, 13 to 15 up in Omaha, and then down here. It does look like our event in Omaha is probably going to happen before our event down in Kansas and Oklahoma, but we'll see. The timing's weird. Like I also said, plenty of instability. This is plenty of instability. So anything above really 15, anything under 1,000 joules per kilogram of cape you can have is enough instability, but we're getting 2 to 4,000 joules per kilogram of cape out here. And then updraft helicity marks, obviously. The big question I have, though, still is... Here we go. When does this jet arrive? This is going to be important.
New information.
Right here.
Thunderstorm warning.
Okay, this is around 2 a.m. This is a strong low-level jet. This is why I'm concerned about a nocturnal tornado threat heading down into Oklahoma and central to eastern Kansas tomorrow night. Also, I mean, we'll see. This Rufus has shifted this a tiny bit to the east, but we get this burst of shear up here 10, 11 p.m. tomorrow in the Omaha region. Does it stay out to the east like the Rufus is suggesting now, or does it stay over Omaha? Because, again, this is like a mini MCS. You get very large hail and 1 or 2 tornadoes in that as well. Definitely the most significant threat we've seen in months. And then, again, we're pushing into Tuesday, and we start to see some very interesting things happening out here. Very interesting things happening in here. Oklahoma City, Tulsa, Little Rock, potentially St. Louis, Tuesday. We could have another very significant setup. Could end up being more significant than tomorrow, but we'll have to see. And the timing of that's going to be different, too. All right. I'll let you guys talk now. Give me a second. Sometimes I just like the sound of my own voice. That's what my mom always said. She goes, you just like the sound of your own voice, don't you? I say, yep. Let's see here. What? Any snow? We are expected to get a little snow up through the northern Rockies, maybe portions of Wyoming, Idaho, northern Colorado, northeastern Utah. Snow caps this week. I mean, like snow cap mountains, very high up. No really low level snow yet, but we're getting close there. Mezzo, oh Mezzo, you just got off. What is cracking? This is why I love Weatherbell, though, Matt. Just to look at my parameters real quick. I think this, yeah, I have the Rufus pulled up here. Impressive. You know, what's happening up here near Omaha is so much smaller, but you're still seeing 300 plus surface helicity up there. Obviously, widespread broad helicity down here, western Kansas, Oklahoma. I was taking a look with Chad at the K index, which is pretty impressive here. 50 plus. 50 plus here, and then we get up to 45 up here near Omaha. So lapse rates look to be pretty nice for supporting severe weather. Definitely the SIG tour down here is impressive. 8 plus SIG tour. We get potentially around 3 to 4 up there in Omaha. This is, I was saying, and you were saying it too, Matt, but yeah, definitely the most significant threat we've had in months. 100%. I'll be streaming this tomorrow night. See how late I can stay up. I do have early meeting at work on Tuesday. But I'll be streaming this tomorrow night. So will Matt, Mezzo Matt. So if you guys haven't followed Mezzo Matt, he's in the chat. Follow him because, yeah, him and his team are going to pull all-nighter. I cannot pull an all-nighter. I get up every day at 5:30 in the morning for my 9 to 5. But I will be up as late as I can. At least till midnight. But we could have a nocturnal threat. We could have... I'm seeing something around 1 and 2 a.m. pushing into north central Oklahoma, central Kansas. I'm seeing some low-level shear cranking up there into the early hours of Tuesday. That's a little concerning. Do you have weather front? I do not. Is it going to rain all day tomorrow in Indiana? Let's look at our 48-hour rainfall forecast for Indiana. Central to northern Indiana looks light, but central to southern Indiana looks decent. Your 48-hour rainfall totals look decent. Anything East Texas? Northeast Texas we're going to have to watch out for. Again, I haven't really even been talking about Tuesday yet, but we push into Tuesday, and we get some of these SIG tour params pushing out into eastern Oklahoma, Arkansas, potentially southern Missouri, northeastern Texas. I don't think that the Rufus is actually seeing Tuesday correctly. Let me take a quick look at our NAM 3K. We got a 00Z. And let's see what it's seeing for, yeah, you see the NAM is bullish. This is a 10.0 SIGTOR param out there in eastern Oklahoma. We'll see. The NAM is bullish out in this region here on Tuesday, way more so. This would be early mid-evening, way more so than the Rufus is. K index out here, good enough. Let's see our Cape values. Look at those. Oh my gosh, look at those Cape values. 6-7K plus potentially out there, according to the NAM. The NAM may not be right, but again, we're seeing a pretty wild couple days compared to what we've been seeing recently. Did you see the NAM 3K for tomorrow? I don't know if Matt's still in here, but Matt, did you see the NAM 3K for tomorrow? Holy smokes. I hate to say it, but let's hope it stays in this region and doesn't move up to the west towards Oklahoma City or the north towards Tulsa. I know someone in chat probably lives like right here and is like, no, move it to the north. But that's a little bit less populated of an area, but we'll see. It's just, we're going to see this stuff move around. Yeah, don't worry. I see your memes, but if you keep spamming it, you're going to get blocked. Or you're going to get muted. I'm not going to block you. You live in Guthrie? I'm trying to remember exactly where Guthrie is. Hold up. I know where Guthrie is, but because I've covered severe storms there a bunch. I just have too many. Yeah, to the north of Oklahoma City. Okay. Oh, that's where your in-laws live? Do you like them or no? I'm just kidding. Tulsa got hammered last night. DFW tornado chances tomorrow? Potentially. Again, you know, according to the NAM, you know, if the NAM's correct, this is a lot of SIGTOR. Not, I mean, you know, DFW is right here. This is, it's not impossible that we see our low maybe float a little bit farther south, and then you get this down to the south. So I pay attention. Right now, the Rufus and NAM have this area right through here as the highest potential for severe weather tomorrow. But it could shift down towards the DFW region. It could. Let's see here. HRRR 3K 12Z. What's our HRRR thing for Tuesday? Oh my gosh. Our HRRR is popping off with the SIGTOR parameters tomorrow night. Look at this. There's going to be a little bit of inhibition. There's going to be a little bit of inhibition, and it's really going to depend how long that sticks around, how long these thunderstorms take to really fire off. Because if that inhibition sticks around a little too long, you know, the timing of our jet's going to be very important. Okay, so here we go. Look at the HRRR. Oof. The HRRR is very concerning for Tulsa. But again, we don't know which model is going to be correct yet. Well, Tulsa's a little bit far out to the west. This would be Fayetteville, Bentonville, Miami, Tahlequah, Muskogee. I'm trying my best, guys. Those areas definitely concerning on the HRRR. I know Tulsa's like right here. But the HRRR and NAM are showing some yeah, let's look at the Cape. Some significant severe weather. Again, 7,000 joules per kilogram plus out there. Wow. Let me look at the HRRR. Let me look at the HRRR 850 layer. Here we go. You see this? See this? This is going to be our concern Tuesday. Jet streak. The HRRR though tomorrow. I didn't even realize the 12Z of the HRRR really showed a lot for tomorrow.
Warning has been issued.
Look at that. Look at that right here for tomorrow. Again, this is a nocturnal. This could be a nocturnal issue. 1-2 a.m. And then up there, it does still see. Interesting. The HRRR is placing this bad kind of jet streak farther out to the east of Omaha, like the latest Rufus does. Maybe we get that significant severe weather out to the east. Maybe it's more of a threat for Des Moines. Maybe we'll have to see. Let's go back to the Rufus. Let me go to the NAM 3K actually. Let me just compare some of these really quickly. See, NAM 3K has it starting up here, has this area as a concern, which would include Omaha. And then let's go back to the Rufus. Rufus has it a little bit farther out to the east right here. This little sector could have the same strength storms as this broad area out here, but it would just be more confined. This is Weather Bell that I'm on right now. Oh, you know what we need to do too? Well, we need to look at this. We've got a bunch of new signals out here, so let's look at our latest GFS. Here's our latest GFS. Brings a hurricane into the coast of eastern North Carolina. Don't freak. Well, it's only 160 hours out, but don't freak out yet. This wouldn't be that strong of a storm, and we have plenty of time for this to change. There's also a ton of shear still, even though the shear is going to be lighting up. There's a ton of shear along the east coast here, so it would definitely battle holding its strength. I don't know if it would actually hold its strength if it came here, but that's in the short term, and then that looks like it could go up and affect the mid-Atlantic and New England as well. So let's pay attention. We don't want a Sandy on our hands. And then what happens right after that? Oh, look at that. We got twins. Another tropical system, another tropical system. Guys, I told you, late September. This would be October 1st. I told you guys, late September, early October. I told you guys what I'm talking about. Suddenly, where's the shear, guys? There's no shear in here. Well, of course there's no shear because we're entering a La Nina. No. The atmosphere has been looking like it was going to set up for late September, early October for a while. Yeah, obviously, this is concerning. We don't need a major hurricane making landfall in Houston like this is suggesting. Lucky for you guys, that's the end of the model run. Very unlikely to happen. But what is significant is 1, 2, 3, 4 tropical systems within 250 hours. We have one going like this. We have one going like this. We have one going like this. And then we have one going like this within the next 250 hours on the GFS. That's significant. We need to pay attention. Let's go to our 12Z on the Euro. The Euro does see this other system out here. Kind of stalling out. We still have a nice amount of shear stalled off here. Subtropical jet sitting over Florida in the western Atlantic. That'd be helpful for us. And then it does see another system trying to form right over here in the western Atlantic. So the Euro's seeing some activity potentially as well. Take a look at the icon. Let's go back to we'll go to the 12Z icon back here. Icon sees our second system here, potentially another system trying to form here. So we're getting increased activity on the globals. The GFS is showing some crazy stuff though. And I think we all know what's happening over in the Pacific, right? Or do we not? Oops, that's not the one I'm looking for. That's 910. That's 950. Here's what's going on in the Pacific. This is a very large eye. It's hard for storms to hold strength when their eye is this large. How large is this eye? Hold up. How large is this eye? That is the largest. Is this not going to show me? Give me a second. Let's go here. Severe weather, Gulf, Conus, Caribbean, Atlantic Basin, Eastern. Why do I not have Western Pacific? Whatever. That's a very, very large eye. That's in the it's over out in the Western Pacific, luckily. So not going to affect us, but it's expected to maintain its strength pretty far west. We're still seeing 110 knots out here. That's a Cat 3, Cat 4 storm there as it pushes off to the west. Look at this thing. Holy crap. I think it got down to 896 millibars or something like that today. Can anyone else confirm that? At its strongest. So that thing is impressive. Luckily, that's not over here right now. Again, I do think... Let me go to SPC here really quickly. I do think, for anyone who's just joined, an enhanced severe weather potential 3 out of 5 is possible through here tomorrow and possible through here tomorrow. So, maybe northwestern side of here, but we'll see. When will Southwest Virginia get... How was it? Are they bad or good? You're probably better than all of them. Yeah. Yeah, big concern here out here tomorrow, guys. And then our day 3, we could get an enhanced out here as well. So most significant severe weather we've seen in a few months. Bryce, what's going on? We're talking about someone's asking about Virginia. Southwestern Virginia. Is that what you said? Let's look at our 72-hour precipitation totals. Nothing. Very little. Maybe 1/10 of an inch of rain. Let's look at our 5-day precipitation totals. There you go. So I'd say probably near the end of this week, we're going to get some good rainfall in Virginia, specifically southwestern Virginia. At least that's how it looks right now. Yeah, southern Missouri, northern Arkansas, northern Tennessee, all of Kentucky, central to southern Indiana, central to southern Illinois, Ohio, West Virginia, PA, central to western PA. You guys are going to get a ton of rainfall over the next 5 days. There you go. But again, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we'll see down here in western Virginia. You'll get some rainfall. Not over the next few days, not much. You probably got muted for repeating a meme multiple times. You're allowed to meme. Wasn't me. Morgan, I appreciate you. Tomorrow we could see some bad storms. I would expect to see some bad storms, and Tuesday as well. We'll see about Wednesday. Why do you feel like there are more tropical or more cones pointing at the northeast than normal this year? Well, because our Bermuda high is pretty far out here, so it's pulling storms up quicker instead of letting them into the Gulf and letting them along the coast. So that just makes it feel like these storms are being pointed at the northeast. But typically, if they start curving to the north this far out, they're going to curve away from the northeast. Did you see snow in the Rockies tomorrow? Yeah, but that's at high elevation. I don't think anyone's going to get snow in low elevation tomorrow. You're in Cape Girardeau. Oh, whoa, what'd I do? Holy crap. Missouri, do you have to worry? You guys are down here, right? Tuesday, Wednesday, maybe. I wouldn't say worry, but pay attention Tuesday, Wednesday. I'd say Wednesday probably the most, but right now it's, we're not looking too dangerous for that region. Yeah, when I'm talking about like severe weather and stuff, it's just like you can meme, but let's not spam. Let's not spam memes. All right, that's fine. You're good. You're unmuted anyway, so. Southern Indiana seeing any severe weather. Here, let's pull back up our outlook just so you guys can see this a little bit easier. Here's our severe weather outlook for the rest of the day tonight. Marginal, stretching from Dallas-Fort Worth, just to the north, Killeen, Texas, up through Fayetteville, up through northwestern Arkansas. A little bit of a severe threat through the night up here in southern Minnesota. Nothing too bad. Sioux Falls as well. Day 2. Here's our severe chances. Southern Wisconsin, southeastern Minneapolis, most of Iowa. Most of Iowa, or southeastern Minnesota, most of Iowa, central eastern Nebraska, all of Kansas, Oklahoma, northern Texas, southeastern Colorado. Then you got up here Tennessee up through western PA. I do think we could get an enhanced, like I said, in this region tomorrow. Significant severe weather is definitely possible tomorrow, meaning strong tornadoes, very large hail, and damaging winds. And again, this is our main threat for Tuesday right now. Could this shift up into southern Illinois, southern Indiana? Potentially. We have to watch this. We also have some models bringing the worst of it up here to the north near Tulsa. We'll get more information with our short ranges tomorrow. And day 4, you would expect some of the severe weather to shift out here to the east. Where we have a low pressure that's causing all of this. That's going to be moving east, bringing with it that sheer southerly flow. Dew points. I haven't even looked at our dew points tomorrow, honestly. I'm doing a bad job. Let's look at our dew points tomorrow. Here we go. Good enough. Up near, you got dew points in the 70s. That'll do it. That'll do, donkey. That'll do. Dew points in the 70s. You can see this precipitable water. Remember, the more moisture that's in the air, the more latent heat can be produced from that moisture lifting into the atmosphere and condensing, heating the air. Latent heat creates ambient heat, which is energy in the upper atmosphere for strong and severe thunderstorms. So you see good dew points. You see a lot of moisture in the air. You see it's all a bunch of simple stuff. You see the we can see our wind speeds really cranking through here. Shear instability at the surface, near the surface, rotating columns of air, while we have lift. While we have lift because we have a good amount of instability. So those rotating columns of air on the surface now become vertical rotating columns of air. What do we call a vertical rotating column of air? A tornado. So all these parameters are here for the next couple of days. Very, very easy to see. And this is interesting too. The shear that it pulls here just potentially through Dallas-Fort Worth Tuesday, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm more concerned with tomorrow, and then tomorrow we'll start looking at Tuesday. Is First Alert for a good weather app to rely on? I don't know because I've never used it. It could be. I wish I could tell you. Laddie, I appreciate you. Yeah, it was under 900. Yeah, I think it was 896. I think that's what Matt told me. Feel like you get some weather Tuesday night. Yeah, rainfall is going to be moving up there shortly. You got general thunderstorms potentially Tuesday. And look to be just to the west of Philly. Well, no, this would be Tuesday. General thunderstorms up there in the mid-Atlantic and Northeast. And I think we could get potentially severe thunderstorms pushing up there Wednesday or Thursday. We'll see. I see 70 dew points in New Jersey this week. How rare is that for this time of year? Honestly, not super rare. Not super rare. We typically do have a couple really kind of damp, hot days left in September and early October before we fully transition into mostly fall weather. So not super rare, but it's a pretty high dew point still for that region at this time of year. Where am I going? Continental United States. Let's take a look at this. 18Z Euro. Let's go to our latest GFS, and I want to take a look at temperature anomalies moving forward. Anything change on our 18Z here? Oh my gosh, look at this heat. This would be October 1st. Oh my gosh. But the GFS still sees this monstrous cool down. Around October 4th, October 5th, being pushed down into the States. Sorry, you guys can't see this. Give me a second. So this would be cold air. This would be very cold air. The Euro keeps going back and forth on where this cold air enters. This would be severe weather potential too, but the models keep thinking, does this cold air beginning of October enter just up in the Northeast? Does it enter through the Midwest? Does it enter through the plains? It'd be best if it entered through the plains because then it'd move off to the east and everyone would get cold air. If it moves in too far to the Northeast, we're going to stay hot the plains for a little bit longer. But yeah, I mean, if you guys want to see like what would these temperatures actually look like if we do get this kind of weather, we'll go to our wind chills out here. We're talking wind chills. Yeah, I mean, look at this. Look at this. We're getting wind chills down near down Tennessee, Carolinas in the 40s. We've got 30s and 40s up the coast, 30s and 40s down through here. This is very cold weather, but it's far. This is at the end of the run. We keep seeing different things here. So we'll have to wait a little bit longer. Yeah, our last Euro just completely erased its thoughts on on this trough moving in. You can see it wants it very far up to the northeast here. Kind of doesn't want too much of a relief for the plains, but it wants to bring in this cold air up to the northeast, which is good for you guys. If the euro confirms here, I will say the Canadian did a great job. The seasonal model did a great job last year on, let's go United States, on kind of fall and winter projections, and it still thinks cold east, warm west for October. Did a good job last year. Doesn't mean it's going to do a good job this year, but it could. Our CFS model agrees. Kind of tale of two sides, cold, warm, as we get into October. So we'll see. We'll see where that cold air moves in. But there's been a lot of very cold air building in up over the Arctic. I'm going to show you guys some interesting stuff here real quick, and then I'll answer more questions. If we were to take a look at continental North America, let's take a look at upper heights. Let's look at monthly 500 millibar. Okay. Here we go. Interesting. You can see that we want... Now, this is a little bit strange to me. Typically, you get some troughing up here over Alaska. You're going to be pretty warm in most of the states. This kind of wants some cooler air to stick around down here. Now, these are heights. This doesn't necessarily mean our air is going to be cooler down here, but let's move this forward. This to me, yeah, this to me looks very well. If we did get a lot of blocking up here over the Arctic and Canada, we could have very cold air squeezing down under this. So this would actually be a pretty decently cold pattern for much of the lower 48 here, November and December. With the blocking we have up to the north. Let me see here. Let's look at Canadian seasonal. Yeah, so the Canadian sees this strong ridging up here over Alaska, which would, and you can kind of see how it's represented here, bring in our jet stream like this. This would be very weak La Nina-esque. This would be a lot of cold air and a lot of clippers, a lot of snow systems through this region if we did get a big ridge blocking up there as we got into December, January, February. But then it looks like it may fall off, and again, second half of winter could be pretty warm for a lot of us. We'll see. It's a little early, guys. It's early, obviously, but I was watching something earlier. Ooh, I want to show you guys this. I was watching something earlier. I don't think I can actually play it on stream. Let me think about this for a second, because I pay for like premium on here. Okay, let me do this. I want to show you something. He was comparing the actual winter of 1950 and saying that actually looks like the closest analog, not the 2013, not the 2014. This was and it does look very close. The 1950 winter has a lot of similarities to what this winter could. This was December, January, February, the heart of winter. This is where everyone in this area was below average. It was a cold winter for everyone. He goes over tropical activity that looks like it's going to enhance a lot over the next couple weeks in the Gulf and around Florida. I went over a lot here. There are some things that I wanted to show you here specifically. Yeah, our ACE index is pretty interesting. I don't want to play this video right now, but here you go. Again, climate division temperature anomalies, December 1950. This year has so many things in common with what we have going on in fall right now. Very warm NPO specifically, entering a weak La Nina. Very similar blocking happening up in the Arctic. Similar ice levels in the Arctic. There's a lot of similarities. This was December of that year. Look how cold this is. I mean, really, if you want to say who's below average, everyone in here. Very cold start to winter. This would mean early season snow for a decent amount of people, I think. You know, people always want a white Christmas. There's so many signals pointing towards, and it's especially the MPO amplifying our weak La Nina. This is something else interesting. What he's showing here is where our ice was projected to be. Okay, where our ice levels were projected to be. Here, they said we're going to have so little ice in the Arctic as we get into late September. You know where our ice is? It's up here. It's not down here, and it's already increasing. What happens when you have more ice to the north? That cold air is able to transition over the poles from Siberia, from Russia, over the poles, down into Canada. That really helps with a colder winter for the States and potentially more snow for the States. So they were very wrong about our ice levels up there. Our ice levels have actually been going up across globally this year, which is very interesting. Our ozone layer has been healing a little bit. Our global temperature has been down this year. Coolest it's been in 4 years, I think, our global temperature, which is good news. But with this kind of stuff happening, a warm MPO, weak La Nina, I'm telling you, there's just, especially when it comes to a weak La Nina, there's high confidence. There's different Enzo cycles: strong, moderate, weak El Nino, strong, moderate, weak La Nina, and Enzo neutral. Weak La Ninas have 70 to 80% confidence, meaning they're correct the most. They have the most. Historically, it turns out the way that we think the most. Weak La Nina, we'd expect much colder temperatures in a lot of these areas. You'd say, okay, 70-80% chance that actually happens temperature-wise. Snow's a little bit hard to tell. Whereas strong La Nina, weak El Nino, maybe the confidence is at like 60%, 50-60%. So I really want to, but I don't want to, I can say all this stuff and it could still end up being an above average winter temperature-wise for the entire lower 48. It's an outlook. But it's an outlook that has more confidence than a normal outlook does. Do you guys get what I'm saying? It has a lot more confidence than your normal winter outlook does. Yeah, I'm in Minnesota. Have I watched Christmas Twister? No. We get some tornadoes still in late December, early January sometimes. Do you think a storm will hit Florida? I'm concerned about Florida over the next 4 weeks. Like I said, late September, early October. There's a lot of activity that could be happening down there. It's hard to say if I think something's gonna hit Florida or not. It's still pretty rare, even though it's the least rare for Florida. Still pretty rare though. Grab a tropical hit on the Tampa Bay area. That's just what the Google DeepMind models is having some interesting thoughts. Google DeepMind. Weathernerds.org. Weather Nerds Assemble. Let's look at the latest. Let's go 2100Z, 2118Z. You guys want to look at the latest from our Google DeepMind AI modeling? Here we go. Let's see. This is our 18Z. What do we see happening here? That's slightly concerning, right? We don't want a strong system right there off the coast. We got a 950 millibar, a 949 millibar, a 960 millibar here in the Gulf as well. So anyways, let's take a look at our Google DeepMind Gen. We'll push this to 18Z as well. I actually kind of like, I don't really like the 18Z. I'd rather do 12, but we'll look at the 18. Again, they're saying this is the model of the future. It's a next gen model. They're saying 5 to 10 years, this will be able to see weather perfectly out up to 16 days. Do I think that's going to happen? No. But this Google DeepMind model has been getting a lot of hype around it, saying it's going to be very accurate. It hasn't been around long enough for me to tell you my thoughts on it. This is concerning, though. Around Florida, this is concerning as well. Up there in the north, this is like a Sandy situation. Is this going to happen? We don't know yet. These are new models. We don't know. But it's something I'm looking at because I understand the Enzo cycle we're moving into and the favorability that's going to happen in hurricane seasons down here in the Western Atlantic, Gulf, and Caribbean shortly. Let's go back here. Right now, everyone's safe. So if you want some good news right now, everyone's safe. So again, concerning though. Concerning throughout the next couple of weeks. We're seeing a lot of landfall potential on the Google DeepMind. How good is Google DeepMind? We're not sure yet, but people think it's going to be a pretty reliable model moving forward. We'll see. There's a reason we have a nickname for the 18Z run in our chat. Yeah. Yep. Listen, what's been happening lately? What's been happening lately is we've had this Bermuda high way off to the east. And so these storms that are starting to form out of the MDR tropical Atlantic, they're getting thrown out to sea. The issue is the storms that form down here in the Caribbean, out here in the Western Atlantic, in the Gulf, they don't care where the Bermuda High is. They're going, you know, they have a very high chance of making landfall regardless of where the Bermuda High is. So lots of things to pay attention to moving forward here. Anyways, I might get off because I think I may be streaming for quite a while tomorrow with the severe weather setup. I appreciate the 2 new followers. Shout out to you. If you got anyone who wants to follow, I live stream 5 days a week. I post updates every single day. I have a Discord. It's free to get in now. It won't be forever. Connor's Climate Corner HQ. Connor's Climate Corner HQ. It has literally everything that you need weather-wise. It's updated every day. It's updated live. It's really cool. I'm on every single platform. We've got mods. We've got a really cool team. XCap, E-Roll, Jasmine. I appreciate you guys. But yeah. And I love winter coverage a lot. I love tropical and winter coverage, so we'll be covering a lot of this stuff. Yeah, this is weather-wise. When's cooler weather going to be in Ohio? Right now, it looks like potentially we're talking we could have a good, nice, cold trough moving in October 3rd, 4th, 5th, somewhere around there. So still looking like 10 to 14 days out. We'll see if that confirms, but right now that looks like the first major cool down for Ohio of the fall, unless you count the first one, which was meteorological fall. Jewel, I appreciate you. What does tomorrow look like? These areas. See the dark green and the yellow? Really watch these areas, but especially the yellow, because I do think this is a 2 out of 5 risk for severe weather. I think we could be upgraded to a 3 out of 5. Tomorrow is the most significant severe weather setup we've seen in months. It's not the most significant severe weather setup we've seen of the year, not even by a mile, but it's definitely the most significant severe weather setup we've seen in months. Our day 3 is as well. So these areas we really need to watch over the next couple days. Singular, appreciate the follow. Honestly, I don't understand what you would cover with snow. The fact that it's cold and snowy. Yeah, people love tracking snowstorms. Tracking snowstorms is a good time. Where's the snow going to hit? How much snow is going to fall? The big thing about tracking snowstorms is trying to figure out what the ratio of the snow is going to be. Is it going to be a 2-1 ratio, or is it going to be a 15-to-1 ratio? You know what I mean? Are we going to have below freezing air from floor to the ceiling, from the ceiling to the floor, or are we going to have layers of air that are slightly warmer because we have a mid-layer jet pumping warm air in, and so now you have a 2-to-1 ratio, so instead of getting 15 inches of snow, you get an inch of snow. Trying to calculate exactly how much snow is going to fall locally is a good time. And snowfall is, besides ice, is the hardest thing to forecast in meteorology. Ice is the hardest thing, but snowfall is number 2. So you really have to work your brain. What snow ratio do I prefer? A nice 10-to-1. You want a 10-to-1 plus. That's that fluffy snow. That fluffy, powdery, nice snow. You get a 2 to 1, 3-to-1, 4-to-1. It's wet, damp snow. That's not fun to shovel. That's not fun to plan. You know what I mean? You want that freezing air, floor to ceiling in the troposphere for nice fluffy snow. Tufts, you'll know what I'm talking about soon. I promise I'm getting my training videos out. I promise. I've just put too much on my plate right now and work's kicking my butt. I've gotten my long YouTube videos out each day, and I'm posting more on my socials, on Discord, and on on my stories and stuff. So it's taking time. Anything above 30 degrees is wet, damp snow. Well, it depends, because you can have fluffy snow at the surface. It could be 36 degrees at the surface, and you could have fluffy snow for a little bit, as long as everything above your head is below freezing. It just kind of depends. Yeah, you don't want anything above freezing in any of the layers, really, while it's falling. You want everything to be below freezing while that snow's falling from the cloud to the ground. And you do preferably want pretty cold temperatures on the surface, 26 or below. Yeah. But yeah. So it could also be 15 degrees. It could be 20 degrees at the surface, but if you have a little bit of a warm air sector above your head, you're not going to get the fluffy snow. So, but there's a lot of ways and new technology that's coming out that help us analyze the different layers of the atmosphere. So it's fun. It's fun because I try to tell people when it's going to snow, hey, do I think you're going to get nice fluffy snow, or do I think you're going to get wet, damp, compact snow? And snow ratio is important because if your snow's 10-to-1, 1 inch of rain, 1 inch of moisture that falls is equivalent to 10 inches of snow. If your ratio is 2-to-1, 1 inch of rain, which is a lot of rainfall in a short period of time, is only equivalent to 2 inches of snow. So imagine sometimes you get a 15-to-1 ratio and only 2 inches of moisture falls, but then you're sitting there in 30 inches of snow. So it's interesting. Yeah, you get a lot of damp snow along the coast because you get a lot of this warm air being pumped into the middle layers. But not always. You can get fluffy snow out here if you get enough cold injection up here from the northwest, from the west. But yeah, if you like this, don't forget to give me a follow, sub. I'm going to be on here streaming most days, posting every day. I appreciate you guys. Like I said, I have a long day tomorrow of work, and I'm going to be streaming the severe weather setup tomorrow, or the severe weather tomorrow. It's going to be a very interesting day. It's going to be a very interesting day. So appreciate all of you. Appreciate my mods. Things are going to get going here in a little bit. Yep, Connor's Climate Corner HQ. That's my Discord. Add me on Discord as a friend, and I will put you in the Discord, make you a member of the Climate Crew. You'll be able to see all that cool stuff in there. You guys are awesome. I'm hopping off, and I'll see you tomorrow. See you, B. See you, Lance. See you.